Hi, my name's Steve Moruzzi. We're here with Ken Resnick of Rath Associates. This video is to show how to remove the pump and the three-way valve on the Mascot FT.
Tools necessary would be a Phillips head screwdriver, a slotted screwdriver, an open-end wrench, and a basin wrench really helps out.
We've already removed the two Phillips head screws on the top, two Phillips head screws on the bottom. We'll remove the cover. You will have to isolate the boiler, drain the boiler, shut off gas, and remove electric for this repair.
Here on the Mascot MFT boiler, we're going to be removing the boiler's pump. Removal of the Molex plug and connector from the pump right up front. We've got a connector here which is a pipe threaded connector, and in the back of the pump we have a connector which is held on by a clip, and you'll see that once we get that out. The pump on the bottom mounts to the bottom of the boiler with two Phillips head screws. Once the two Phillips head screws from the bottom of the pump has been removed, we've got a pipe connector here that needs to be loosened up and taken out. Between that pipe connector is also a gasket. Be careful of the orientation of that gasket when you are putting it back together. The use of a basin wrench is really handy here. We can turn that connector quite easily with plenty of room. Behind the pump, connecting the pump to the three-way valve, is a speed clip. That clip merely pulls out. You'll see that there is a specific orientation of the clip. Here we have a larger size on the back of that clip and a smaller size on the front of that clip. The larger size goes back to the three-way valve, where the hub of that valve is larger than where the circulator would sit. There's the top gasket. It is suggested that gaskets be replaced when you're putting that pump back in place.
Ken mentioned replacement of gaskets. There is a gasket kit that comes with the boiler. It's on the inside cabinet, the right-hand wall. All of these gaskets come with the boiler, and they're well labeled of what they go to. So if you need another gasket, go ahead and utilize these.
Removal of the three-way valve, which is behind the pump, is quite simple and easy. We've got another pipe connector up top, and we've got two speed clips that need to be removed. One of those clips is here, and the other clip is there. We're also going to be removing our temperature sensor with two pin type clips. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that bottom clip. Orientation of that clip is important. We have a larger size on that clip and also a smaller back portion. The larger back portion goes to the bottom of the brass connector, and the smaller portion of that clip goes to the plastic side of the three-way valve. Access to the top pipe connector is quite easy with a basin wrench. You can also use an open-end wrench if you prefer. You'll notice that there is also a gasket on that copper piping that does go up to the top of the boiler. Orientation of that gasket is also important. After removal of that gasket, it is suggested to replace it. At this point, I'm going to remove the temperature sensor from the housing of the waterway on the three-way valve. That's done with two clips, and remove that temperature sensor. You can gently move that temperature sensor off to the side for better access. The second clip is behind the housing of the three-way valve, which is on the waterway. That clip is also a speed clip, and removal of that clip is quite easy. Again, orientation of that clip is important. Larger size of the clip to the brass body, smaller size of the clip to the plastic side of the waterway. Removal of the CH heating strainer does make this a whole lot easier. One clip removal, and there is a CH strainer. When you're putting that CH strainer back, make sure it's good and clean. You can blow that off with air. You can also use a soft bristle brush. Also check the quality of the O-rings. If needed, replace the O-rings. There's two Phillips head screws that hold the waterway into the bottom of the boiler. Very simply going to remove those two Phillips head screws. Removal of the three-way valve is done by lifting straight up and then out to you. You'll notice the three-way valve has two wiring connectors. One is a main Molex plug connector that goes to the top of the printed circuit board. The other wiring connector is a temperature sensor. That temperature sensor is held in on the body of the three-way valve by 2 Phillips head screws. And you can pull that temperature sensor straight out. There is a gasket on that temperature sensor. It is an O-ring type gasket. Make sure the quality of that O-ring is good. If not, please replace it. The three-way valve is wired to the main printed circuit board by a 3-conductor Molex connector. Squeeze the lock on the connector and pull straight out to you. Take the wire and harness all as one piece, down and out of the boiler. The three-way valve and CH waterway is oriented in this position inside of the boiler. To remove the three-way valve from the waterway, it's a 1/4 turn twist of the waterway while holding the three-way valve steady and pull that waterway away from the three-way valve. You'll notice there are 2 O-rings on the body of the three-way valve. Make sure the quality of those O-rings are good going into the waterway. At this point, you can also take a look at the 2 O-rings that go to the bottom of the boiler on the CH supply side. Make sure the quality of those O-rings are good as well. If not, replace them. The orientation of the wiring can be one of 2 ways on the motor of the three-way valve. As you see this one, it's coming straight at you with the orientation of the valve in that position. The wiring can also be at the bottom. With the new three-way valve in hand, the orientation of the waterway and the three-way valve, the connection of such, push, and do a 1/4 of a turn to lock in. The waterway will not come away from the three-way valve at that point. We're going to reassemble the three-way valve and waterway back into the boiler as one piece. At this point, we're going to reinstall the capillary for the pressure gauge, making sure that that O-ring is in good quality condition. Push the capillary straight in and reinsert the holding pins. With the orientation of the pump in this manner as it goes back into the body of the three-way valve, I'd like to show you the O-ring that is on the pump that goes into the three-way valve. Again, make sure the quality of the O-ring is there. If not, replace the O-ring. The clip that holds the pump onto the plastic body of the three-way valve, make sure of the orientation of that clip as well. Large side of that clip to the pump, small side of that clip to the three-way valve. So we're going to put that pump back into place onto the three-way valve.
If you have any technical questions, please contact product support at 1-800-900-9276. Thank you.